Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy II on the Wii Virtual Console. It's time for Rupes and his party to continue the side quest that they started in the last episode. We managed to get Yang to recover. We hit him with a frying pan. And he can't join our party, but the Sylphs who are taking care of him, they decided to join our party as a summon for Georgie. And speaking of summons, we're going to get another summon. We're going to head to Baron Castle. But first I head to the castle in Troya here. And we're going to talk with Prince Edward. And he's going to have some new dialogue now that we discover that Yang is okay. So just going... Good to hear that Yang is doing okay. Did you let his wife know about that? So yeah, that's I guess your way to figure, to go talk with his wife if you haven't done so yet. And then of course she gives you the frying pan and that wakes him up, and then you get the spoon then when you return the frying pan. The ultimate throwing weapon. Guaranteed to do 9,999 damage. And that would potentially be good in this upcoming summon that we're going to be fighting, because it's another time boss battle. We're going to be fighting the King of Baron, who will join the party as the Odin summon. I'm going to make a quick save here, because like I said, it's a time battle. If you don't defeat Odin in time, he will just use his ability that where he cuts everyone in half. You might have seen that in Final Fantasy V, the 4-job fiesta that I do. He just slices across the screen and... My father's still making an airship? Yep, he actually remade the Falcon with a drill on it. Yeah, he just tries to cut all the enemies in half. Unlike Final Fantasy V, though, he doesn't have like a spear attack. In Final Fantasy V, if an enemy is classified as heavy, which means that they're immune to instant death, Odin will just appear and throw a spear, the Gungnir spear, for damage. But it doesn't happen like that in Final Fantasy IV here. He just has the slash that cuts the enemies in half, so if you use it against the wrong enemies, Odin's just going to appear and basically do nothing. So, here's the mechanics. They don't have anything new to say, even though we know for sure that their boss is okay. And this battle, he'll be pretty okay, as long as you pretty much have the Lit 3 spell learned by Georgie. Because remember when we were in the land of summoned monsters, it said that Odin was only defeated once when lightning struck his blade. That's your clue on how you're going to beat Odin here. Don't be sad, the monster got to me, but I've gained the eternal powers to help you. The Caller of Mist can summon me whenever you please, but first, I must test you. So we're going to use the Nell's Blitz. Just have Rupes attack, and you can try to fast Georgie or Rupes. I tried to fast Georgie so she can potentially cast the Lit 3 faster. When that comes out, it's going to do the 9,999. So yeah, if she was able to cast that twice, that's pretty much all of Odin's hit points. Now, when Odin raises his sword, he only got like a few more turns before he attacks. And slices you up. Instant game over. But we managed to finish him off. Like I said, don't bother healing, because all you have to, it's just an instant death if he hits you with that attack, with his attack. So yeah, just go full pure offense. And Georgie has learned a new summon. And now we pretty much got most of the side quests taken care of. We started the one with Kokol to get the Excalibur. To finish that, we're going to have to summon the big whale. So let's head to Mysidia, and we'll go talk with the Elder there, and that'll bring about the summoning of the big whale, which is the ship that transports people from the Earth to the Moon. I will learn a lot more about that when we get there. And the Mysidian legend is going to basically be kind of explained when we head over there. airship, fly over to Mysidia, and when we enter Mysidia, we'll just have a cutscene, and the Elder will take us right up into the Tower of Wishing. There he is to greet us. We have been waiting for you. Come to the Tower of Wishes. And they nicely teleport us there. And we get the Mysidian legend again. Now, if you go back a few seconds, you'll notice that Mysidia, the landmass that is formed, Mysidia is almost like the eye of the dragon and the mouth of where the water is. So it almost looks like the head of a dragon. So, one to be drawn from a dragon, hoisting the light and the dark, rises high up in the sky to the still land. And we're going to learn basically the still land is the moon and why it is the still land, even though there's apparently life on that moon. Wish everyone the legend shall come alive now. And Rupes, remember, at first he was the Dark Knight, and now he's the Paladin, the Light Knight. So the legend is basically that this whale's going to come and hoist somebody who had both the dark and the light. See how it looks like a mouth of a dragon there? So one to be born from the dragon. That's the big whale. Look everyone, our wish was granted. And the big whale is basically a slower airship that, like I said, transports you from the Earth here to the moon. And I will show off the big whale. There's a lot of things about the big whale. Sadly, we can't take the big whale down to the Underworld. It would be pretty neat if we could just show King Giant, the Dwarf King, because, you know, he spoke about the ship. So, the ship of light from the moon. And we're going to learn more about that ship, who made it, and why it's here, and why do we need to transport to the moon. While wishing, I heard a voice calling to you from the moon. It said to go there and meet them. Moon, but how? The big whale is a ship from the moon. It works as an airship. To travel to the moon, talk to the crystal flight to voyage between the Earth and the moon. Alright. Let's just head back in and we'll talk with the Elder and all his wizard friends who are with him there, wishing. He's basically just going to tell us to use the big whale to go to the moon, but before we go to the moon, we're going to complete the Coco side quest, because the trigger for him to finish the new sword is having the big whale be summoned. So when we go into the big whale, what we're going to do here, unfortunately we can't use the exit because I guess there's that cutscene there. So we're going to have to trek all the way back out. But the big moon, the big whale, kind of reminds me of the airship in Final Fantasy III, the Invincible. There's going to be like a free inn in there. There's going to be a big chocobo where we can store items. The only thing it's missing is the item, weapon, and armor shops that the Invincible had. Yeah, we enter it, and the Crystal of Flight is the one right in the middle there. Pick any one of these beds that heals you up. And you see the big chocobo there. So he was sitting in this ship the whole time, but it was underwater. What did he eat? What did he, drink? I guess, I don't know. Maybe there's like a food storage place somewhere else in the big whale that we can't see. But we can also fly around the world. In order to fly around the world, we just head to the top here, touch this lever, and the big whale takes off. It's much slower than the airship, so we can enjoy the scenery a little bit more. But like I said, we can't take it down into the Underworld to show it off. So we're going to have to jump back into one of our airships, either the Falcon or the Enterprise. The Enterprise is right here, so we're going to hop on it. And we're going to head back down to Coco in the southeast corner of the Underworld. And he is going to have the sword finally reforged. The Legend Sword is going to become the Mighty Excalibur. Like Final Fantasy I, the Excalibur is the second best sword in the game. There's one more sword that's better for Rupes. Lolly ho, boss looks happy. It's done. Here's the Sacred Sword Excalibur. Receive Excalibur. We'll lose the extra defense from the defense sword, but we'll get a lot more attack power with the Excalibur sword. So we go from 129 up to 186. So, what, 57 more attack power? And we're going to get some good armor coming up eventually once we get to the moon. So that'll make up for that defense loss. So now there's not much stuff to do here on the Earth. We finished up all the side quests, so let's just head over to the moon now. And we were told that there's a voice that's calling us from the moon. And once we get to the moon, you're going to kind of be able to see exactly probably where that voice is coming from. But there's a few side things we want to do first on the moon. I'm going to travel around the moon a little bit and point out different areas. So we get, this reminds me of Phantasy Star, the game I played before this. We travel between the planets. And here we are on the moon. We can only land on the gray or in the brown where it's flat. Like there's like a rock or a crater, you can't land on it. We see this big crystal palace there. That's where we gotta go to. There's a cave over here to the west. That is the Cave of the Father. We won't be able to go into that cave, but that's where the king of the summoned monsters lives. We won't be able to get that summon though because we didn't defeat Leviathan, and I purposely didn't defeat Leviathan just to show off that dialogue. It's a different dialogue. Here's an interesting thing that the Final Fantasies, they tend to put this little face. It's under the water in Final Fantasy V. It's just that moon face the face on Mars. That they just, when they did a high resolution picture of it, turned out that it was just, just a low resolution picture made it look like a face. It was just a regular mountain. So people thought, oh, maybe it was like an alien race who made that. Speaking of alien races, by heading into this cave here, we find out that the Hummingway, the Namingway guy who's been naming us, who's been renaming our characters, he's a group of aliens called the Hummingways. And most of these just go out and say like, hum hum hum, but we can, one does sell items. This is the only place we can buy elixirs. We can buy a thing called the Whistle. What the Whistle does is it summons the not the black chocobo, the big chocobo. So, there's a Namingway. I had a good friend who was very good at making names, but he went to the Blue Planet long ago. I wonder how he got there. Did he eat the big whale initially? We are the Hummingway family. Nice, there's just that one that changes your name and one that sells stuff. All the other ones just hum. Changing name? What is it? See, this is a little thing that I missed the first time I played the game. And then I was just flying around the moon, and I was like, wait, there's a cave there. I was like, interesting. It's kind of hidden pretty well. What's not hidden so well is the cave system to get to the Crystal Palace. Since you couldn't land in front of the Crystal Palace, we're going to have to trek through a few caves to get to it. So, we're going to land up here, and there's the first cave there. It's just a series of 2 caves. The Lunar Path. None of the caves are very big. They're pretty much straightforward, especially the second one. But they do have some brand new enemies in them. So, grenades, weak against ice. So hit them with a good Ice 3 spell, that should take care of them. We can also summon Shiva if you want. The red worms are a little more tricky. You can deal with them by turning them into Toad. If you have the Fatal Spell, Black Magic Spell, Georgie doesn't have it yet, but if you have the Fatal Spell, the red worm is susceptible to the Fatal Spell, so you can just cast Fatal on it and that'll instantly kill it. Elemental weaknesses, it's weak to fire. So, you can cast a Fire 3 on it. I have Nell doing the flame here. They're kind of an annoying enemy because they have a lot of hit points. Their stats will come up later. They have a lot of hit points and they counter a lot of your attacks with the Vampire spell, which steals your life. You We got the Crocolites and Jucolites. They are weak to Quake. So if you have the Quake spell, you just use the Quake spell. Unfortunately, Georgie doesn't have it yet. So you could use the Titan Summon, but I'm going to show off the Odin Summon, because these guys are susceptible to instant death. And Odin just appears, comes, slashes them all in half, and we win that battle. Yeah, we get an elixir for our troubles. And I'm just going to head up here. This is the more complex of the cave, but you'll know it's not even really all that complex. It has some treasures in it, but the other cave is straightforward, has no treasure in it at all. So, here we got the Proselyte again. We can actually put its stats up later. And we got the Pudding Monsters. They are a new type of flan-type monster, weak against ice. Normally they're more color-coded, so like blue was weak against ice, red was weak against fire, yellow was weak against thunder. But these guys are like purple, so you just have to figure out what their weakness is. However, it's getting to the point where Georgie's magic is getting so strong that she can almost take them out with like any spell. Ice 3, like I said, is their weakness, but the virus spell could probably take one of them out. The Quake spell could maybe take one out, and if not, it could be supplemented with one of Nell's attack spells, like Blitz or Flood, to finish them off. So yeah, her intelligence is getting pretty high, so, or her wisdom. Let me just walk across the moon here. The moon has random encounters on it. I'm just getting really lucky and not running into any in the moon. So, and then we have the second lunar path here, just a straight shot, and that'll put us back on the outside. So here's those red worms again. If you have the fatal spell, use the fatal spell. We do not have the fatal spell. Georgie hasn't leveled that high enough yet, so we're gonna make do with the toad spell. Turn them into toads. They'll be much easier because they won't hit as hard, and they won't be able to counter with this vampire spell that they use. That it doesn't take up a lot of hit points, but it's just annoying seeing that animation, and it's also annoying because it heals the enemy up a little bit. So not a whole bunch, but still, you never know. That 84 hit points it might have stolen might have been enough to keep it alive. So yeah, there's its weakness there, weak against fire. But once they're a toad, you don't have to worry about hitting it with fire because you're doing so much more damage because its defense is dropped because it's toaded. And Lila's I'm going to do some good damage because she has the fire arrows equipped. I'm almost out of arrows though for her. Surprisingly, she has a bunch of Medusa arrows, lit arrows, and she still has those white arrows as we got for the beginning of the game. So that was when we've had them for so long, but never bothered to use them yet. But here we are outside the Crystal Palace, and that's where we're going to explore in the next episode. So take care, have a good one, hope to see you then. Bye!